So which is actually better, online dating or cold approach? This has been a massive debate in the dating community for years. And by the end of this video, I'm going to settle that debate. But in the meantime, I'm going to give you the brutally honest truth about both. What's good and what's bad. Let's dive in. So let's start with cold approach, my first love in game. Cold approach, when it goes well, will lead to the most epic, exhilarating, memorable stories you have ever had in your entire life, and the most memorable experiences you will ever have. The stuff you will remember on your deathbed and be glad you were a living human being for. I mean, just put it this way. In magazines like Playboy and Penthouse, there's these like forbidden stories, there's the secret stories that guys like literally they get aroused just reading them. What are those stories? They're actually just stories of successful cold approach. My adult life from doing cold approach has been a series of men's fantasies. That is insane, that is incredible. Just contemplate that for 1 second. So cold approach is definitely the most fun way to game. On the other hand, my favorite thing about online dating, which I have also done for 2 decades, by the way, is that once you have an online dating system that works, you have a good profile and good photos, it's autopilot. You just sit back and it's like, ding, I have a match, ding, I have a match, copy, paste, I have a date. It is absolutely effortless. You do not even have to think, you just basically get dressed and show up for your dates. That's pretty incredible if you ask me. On the other hand, cold approach is epic because you have access to literally every girl on the planet. Every girl goes out at some point during the day and is available to be cold approached. And if you do night game, you actually have a situation where people have gathered the girls together in a nightclub just for you to approach. And so, you know, every single girl at some point is available to someone who's an aware cold approacher. And the opportunities are just gonna come up naturally and automatically in your life. You're at Starbucks, there's a girl there, boom, do that approach. You're sitting on an airplane, girl sits next to you, boom, you do that approach. All right, it is incredibly easy and available, and it will come up over and over again once you are good at it. On the other hand, in online dating, there are no rejections, which is probably a big reason why online dating has become the biggest source of new relationships across the entire planet. Guys who are terrified of rejection, guys who don't have the courage to do a cold approach can still get success with online dating, and you can do it in a way which is not emotionally taxing, which is not scary, which is not at all ever traumatic, etc. Right? You can just, sit from the comfort of your computer, swipe, swipe, swipe. The matches that come, and you never have to deal with a girl saying no to you, never have to deal with a rejection, never have to deal with a girl giving you a funny face. You just show up for the ones that like you. And that's pretty good as well. On the other hand, in cold approach, you will take rejections. Even if you've been doing it for 20 years, you will still occasionally take rejections. But I would argue that's actually in a lot of ways a good thing, because the guys I know who learn cold approach and get good at cold approach become some of the strongest human beings I've ever met on the planet, and they actually get good at a lot of other things in life. If you can master the skill of cold approach, or if you can even just get through the pain of rejection and have that consistency and kind of, accountability and character to be even mediocre at cold approach, what that will do for you as a man in terms of your confidence, your ability to stick with it, your ability to achieve your other goals in life, it's absolutely incredible. So cold approach is one of the best formative experiences as a man, and I would pity any man who has not been man enough to step up and have that experience. So yes, you will take rejections. There will be fewer of them as you get better and better. You will take rejections though, and that's actually good for you. If you went through your whole life and never took a rejection, you would be a weak human being. On the other hand, if your goals aren't so much about building character and pushing your comfort zone, you're just like, Todd, I want to get girls in the most direct way possible. Well, let's talk about online game, where you can get girls in your pajamas at 3 a.m. without getting out of bed, without brushing your teeth, without shaving, without putting on nice clothes. You can just swipe from the comfort of your home anytime, anywhere. If you're in a boring business meeting and have nothing else to do, you can swipe and meet girls during that time. It is, in terms of calorie burned, it doesn't get any easier in terms of the efficiency of meeting girls. And again, no need to get rejected, no need to build your character, no need to push your comfort zone. You just go directly to the source. I want a girl, this is where I get the girl. And actually these days you don't even need to swipe. A lot of my systems for online dating don't even involve me swiping. I just deal with the girls once I've already matched with them. Live game is, however, hands down the best way to learn game overall. It's the best way to learn charisma, the best way to learn flirting, the best way to learn how to keep a girl's attention. And through live game, you will learn all the stages of game. You will learn the approach, you will learn messaging, you will learn dates, all of that kind of stuff. If you know that you don't have the skills of flirting with women, you know you don't have the skills to hold a conversation with women, Cold Approach is the best and fastest way to learn those skills. It's also the way you're going to learn every single facet of game. You'll learn the cold approach and holding a conversation. You'll learn texting. You'll learn how to take a girl home. You'll learn how to run a date. You'll learn all of it eventually. However, if you specifically want to learn how to be good on dates, online dating is the best for that. In fact, a lot of times I'll have guys that are like intermediate level doing cold approach. Even if that's their bread and butter and that's what they love to do, I'll recommend they have to do online dating just to get date after date after date and get that dating practice, because you can get those dates quicker and more efficiently from online than you can typically from cold approach. So for holistic learning in game and learning the charisma and flirting and opening stuff, live approach, cold approach, absolutely that's what you want to do. But if you want to learn how to do dates, and pretty much if you want to be successful with women, you're gonna have to learn dates at some point. Online dating is the most efficient way to learn that. Also for online dating, text game is huge in game overall. And if you want to learn text game as a beginner, you have to go out and approach a girl and get a number and then text her, which takes a lot of work and you don't get a lot of reps. Online, all you have to do is match and you can start texting. So if you want to learn text game, which is one of the biggest determinants of success in all of game, online dating is actually the best way to learn text game as well. Here's a dirty little secret in the debate between online dating and cold approach. In cold approach, the girl will always look like her pictures, so to speak, because she's there in front of you, you know she's cute, you know she's hot, you go approach her, she looks how she looks. In online dating, unfortunately, there are times where you will meet a girl who does not exactly look like her photos. It does happen, unfortunately. Now, that's not to say there aren't lots of girls who do look like their photos. It's not to say there aren't plenty of gorgeous girls online, because there absolutely are. But a downside is that occasionally you will go on a date with a girl and she won't quite look like her photos. That will never happen to you in live game. Okay, so we've just talked about appearance. Now let's talk about compatibility. And on this one, online wins. You are more likely to be able to find a girl quickly who you're compatible with online than from live cold approach. I mean, just think of it this way. When you walk up to a girl in live cold approach, you don't know anything about her other than what she's wearing and how she looks. You don't know what her interests are, what her hobbies are, what her background is, what her education is, any of that kind of stuff. Online, you know all of that from the first moment. You can swipe through her profile and figure that out without even having to swipe on her, without even having to talk to her. You can sort through so many girls so much faster online, and you can find that sort of chemistry, and especially if you're talking about relationship chemistry. Because if you're just looking for a girl to hook up with, it may not matter if she has the same belief systems as you. But if you're looking for someone to raise children with, it really, really does. So for compatibility in general, and especially deep compatibility, there's actually a lot to be said for online dating. And speaking of online dating, I have students that once they get good, they literally go on a date every single day. And I do mean literally. I don't even think that should be the goal, but they want to do it and they do it. So if you want to talk about getting reps of going on dates, you absolutely can get as many reps as you want. Another great thing about cold approach is that it is inherently a bit less superficial than online dating. Because in online dating, a girl's looking at your photo first, and if that doesn't pass a certain test, she's not looking further. In a live cold approach, you have a greater opportunity to convey your personality through your mannerisms, your eye contact, your vocal tonality, the things you say. And so you can sort of talk away your ugliness, so to speak. You have an opportunity for your game to supersede your appearance, for your game to give you access to girls that might immediately looking at you not be attracted. You can actually get them attracted with your game. So it is less superficial in a way. On the other hand, in online dating, you can actually make your appearance better than it is in real life. You can have professional photos taken. You can airbrush your photos. You can take 100 shots and pick just the absolute best one of them. You can take photos of you doing the coolest things you've ever done and putting yourself in the best settings with the best people. And so while online dating is actually a bit superficial, you have a lot of control over that superficiality. And if you're willing to put the effort and actually intelligent effort in, you can actually get much better results and you can appear much more attractive than guys who are actually physically more attractive than you in real life. So yes, online dating is superficial, but you have a lot of control over your appearance that most guys are not utilizing. A final point in favor of online dating, but it's kind of a huge one. The girls, if they're online, are actively looking to not be single anymore. They've gotten to the point where they're frustrated with being single and they've actually taken action to not be single anymore. They want to meet you. They want to go on dates with you. Once you match with a girl, it's assumed I like you, you like me, we're both on an online dating site. The most logical thing to do, the most logical outcome possible is to go on a date. It's already almost tacitly agreed. Also, since a lot of guys have trouble making an interaction man to woman, the fact that you met on an online dating site actually makes it man to woman on behalf of the guy, which, for most guys that couldn't do that to save their lives, gives them at least a chance of success. But the point is, the girl's actively looking, she wants to meet you, and obviously that's a tremendous benefit. So what's the conclusion? Should you do cold approach or should you do online game? And the answer is yes. Yes, you should do cold approach, and yes, you should do online game. Why? Because there are amazing things about both, and more importantly, because they are not mutually exclusive. Doing cold approach does not prevent you from doing online game in any way. Doing online game does not prevent you from doing cold approach in any way. So do both. Now, if you're a beginner, err on the side of even more online dating because it's very, very easy. If you are very advanced, honestly, err on the side of preference. If you prefer a certain type of girl or a certain venue and you can find that live, then by all means be very, very niche. If you like to have a date every single day of the week and you like to not put a lot of time and effort into it, then do online dating because that's going to give you that consistency and that ease in your life. And that's really a matter of preference because once you're good, you're going to get a lot of girls and hot girls from both. So really that's about which lifestyle do you prefer to lead. But if you're a beginner, if you're an intermediate, there's absolutely no excuse not to do both. And honestly, if you're advanced, you probably should as well. Most of my advanced students do both. Okay, so I've already made the point that you should do both and that both have a massive upside. However, I want to make one final point in favor of online dating, which is that there is literally no downside. There's no facing rejection. There's very, very minimal time commitment. There's no putting yourself out there. It's just so easy. It's the low-hanging fruit, and that is the reason why most guys who don't have the balls or cold approach, or most guys who don't have the dedication or drive to be really, really good with women, how do they get their dates? They get it through online dating. It is the easiest. It is the lowest hanging fruit. So please, please, please do both. Your life will thank you. Your life will be better for it. You'll be proud of yourself and the benefits will be immense. However, at the very least, even if you're scared of doing cold approach, even if you don't want to be that guy, please at least do online dating because there literally is no downside. So I've already made the point that you should do both, but let's just talk in practical terms here, right? You're on this channel for a reason. You're watching these videos for a reason. I mean, hopefully I'm a little bit entertaining, but mainly you're here because you want to get girls. You want to meet girls, have good relationships. That's why you're here. If that's what you want, there is literally no reason not to do both. Consider it this way. If you had a business and you could make sales through a website, or you could have a sales team, you could have a business that just sells through a website and you could be successful. You could have a business that just has a sales team and you could be successful. Or you could have a business that has a website and a sales team, and assuming that both are independently profitable, you're better off having both.